If you became rich tomorrow, would you keep it? Most people spend years dreaming about becoming wealthy. They imagine what life would look like if money were no longer a source of stress. They picture themselves paying off debts, buying their dream home, traveling wherever they want, helping their families, and finally enjoying the freedom they believe wealth can provide. For many people, becoming rich seems like the ultimate goal, the finish line that separates struggle from success. Yet there is one question that almost nobody asks. What happens after the money arrives? If you suddenly became wealthy tomorrow, would you actually be able to keep it? The uncomfortable truth is that making money and keeping money are completely different skills. One requires ambition, risk-taking, and hard work. The other requires patience, discipline, and wisdom. History is filled with stories of people who earned fortunes, inherited fortunes, or won fortunes, only to lose everything a few years later. The problem was never the amount of money they had. The problem was that they never learned how to protect it. Wealth has a way of exposing weaknesses that struggle often hides. When money arrives, people become more vulnerable to temptation, pressure, bad decisions, and misplaced trust. This is why many wealthy families follow certain principles that help them preserve wealth not only for themselves but for future generations as well. These principles may seem simple on the surface, but their impact can be enormous. The first principle is understanding that silence is often your first layer of protection. One of the biggest mistakes people make when they experience financial success is feeling the need to announce it. They want others to know they have made it. They want recognition, validation, and admiration. Yet the moment people discover you have money, their behavior often changes. Some people begin to see opportunities. Others begin to see expectations. Suddenly, relatives you have not spoken to in years become interested in reconnecting. Friends start presenting investment ideas. Acquaintances who once paid little attention to you now seem unusually friendly. Not everyone who approaches you has bad intentions, but wealth naturally attracts attention, and attention brings pressure. Think about what would happen if you received a life-changing amount of money tomorrow. How many people would know about it within a week? How many conversations would shift from genuine connection to financial expectations? The reality is that the more visible your wealth becomes, the more complicated your life can become. Wealthy individuals often understand that privacy is valuable. They know that not every success needs to be displayed, and not every financial move needs to be announced. Some of the richest people in the world live surprisingly ordinary lives. They drive modest vehicles, wear simple clothing, and avoid unnecessary attention. They understand that protecting wealth often begins with protecting information. Just as a seed grows best beneath the soil before anyone sees it, financial success often grows best when it is allowed to develop quietly. Sometimes the smartest thing you can do is remain silent and let your results speak louder than your words ever could. Another principle that separates those who keep wealth from those who lose it is learning to let the money sit before making major decisions. This may sound simple, but it is one of the hardest things for people to do. Sudden wealth creates excitement, and excitement often clouds judgment. When people receive a large amount of money, their minds immediately start racing. They begin imagining new houses, luxury cars, expensive vacations, and business opportunities. Everything feels urgent. They feel pressure to act quickly because they believe the money should immediately transform their lives. Unfortunately, this is where many costly mistakes begin. Imagine someone wins a large lottery jackpot. Within days, they start making purchases, lending money, investing in unfamiliar ventures, and making promises they cannot sustain. At the time, every decision feels exciting and reasonable. Yet a few years later, many lottery winners find themselves in financial trouble because they made decisions based on emotion rather than wisdom. Wealth requires a different mindset. Instead of asking, "What can I buy?" the wiser question is, "How can I protect this?" Time has a remarkable ability to improve decision-making. When excitement fades, clarity returns. Investments that once looked brilliant may reveal hidden risks. Purchases that felt necessary may suddenly seem unnecessary. Opportunities that appeared urgent may no longer matter. Patience protects what impulse destroys. Those who preserve wealth understand that financial decisions rarely need to be rushed. In fact, some of the best decisions are made after careful observation, reflection, and planning. The ability to wait is often more valuable than the ability to act. The third principle involves resisting the temptation to upgrade your lifestyle too quickly. This is where many people become trapped. The moment their income increases, their spending increases as well. They move into larger homes, purchase more expensive vehicles, buy luxury items, and adopt habits that require constant spending. On the surface, this seems logical. After all, if you have more money, why not enjoy it? The problem is that lifestyle inflation can quietly destroy long-term wealth. The more your lifestyle expands, the more financial pressure you create for yourself. What once felt like a luxury soon becomes an expectation, and before long, maintaining your lifestyle becomes just as stressful as earning the money in the first place. Many people confuse looking wealthy with being wealthy. They assume that expensive possessions are proof of financial success, yet appearances can be misleading. A person may drive a luxury vehicle while carrying enormous debt. Another person may live modestly while quietly building substantial investments. One person is spending wealth, the other is creating it. Real wealth is not measured by what people see. It is measured by what remains after the spending stops. Consider two individuals who both receive the same amount of money. One immediately spends most of it on visible symbols of success. The other invests carefully, saves consistently, and lives below their means. 5 years later, the difference between them may be dramatic. One is struggling to maintain appearances, while the other enjoys freedom, security, and options. Wealth is not about impressing strangers. It is about creating stability and opportunity for yourself and the people you care about. The strongest financial foundations are built long before anyone notices them. The fourth principle is understanding that relationships and money should remain separate whenever possible. Money has a unique ability to change expectations. Friendships that once felt strong can become strained when financial obligations enter the picture. Family relationships can become complicated when loans, gifts, or inheritances are involved. Business partnerships can collapse because assumptions were never clarified. The issue is not money itself. The issue is the emotions and expectations that money often creates. Many people believe trust alone is enough to manage financial relationships. Unfortunately, trust without clarity can lead to disappointment. One person expects repayment. Another assumes the money was a gift. One person expects a business investment to produce quick returns. Another expects patience. These misunderstandings can damage even the strongest relationships. This is why clear boundaries are essential. Boundaries are not signs of selfishness or distrust. They are signs of wisdom and respect. They help protect relationships from unnecessary conflict. If money is involved, expectations should be discussed openly and honestly. If support is provided, limits should be clear. If agreements are made, they should be understood by everyone involved. Many lifelong friendships and family relationships survive because financial boundaries were established early. Protecting your relationships is just as important as protecting your wealth because money can always be replaced, but some relationships cannot. The final principle may be the most important of all because it determines whether wealth survives beyond a single generation. Raise children with values before privileges. This principle has shaped the success of many wealthy families throughout history. While money can provide opportunities, it cannot automatically create responsibility, discipline, or character. These qualities must be taught. Many parents dream of giving their children a better life than they had. There is nothing wrong with that goal. However, problems arise when children receive privileges without learning the values required to handle them wisely. Imagine giving someone access to enormous resources without teaching them accountability. Imagine providing comfort without teaching effort. Imagine rewarding without requiring responsibility. The result is often entitlement rather than capability. Wealth can become a burden when people inherit money without inheriting the wisdom needed to manage it. This is why successful families often focus on teaching lessons rather than simply transferring assets. They teach children the value of work before they teach them the value of spending. They teach gratitude before abundance. They teach discipline before freedom. They understand that the ability to create wealth is far more valuable than wealth itself. A disciplined individual who loses everything can rebuild because the skills remain. An entitled individual who inherits everything may struggle because the money is all they have. At the heart of every lasting fortune is a set of values that extends beyond money. Financial success is not simply about earning more. It is about developing the habits and character necessary to manage what you earn. Wealth that lasts for generations is usually supported by wisdom, discipline, patience, and responsibility. Without these qualities, even the largest fortunes can disappear surprisingly quickly. The truth is that wealth is not measured by how much money you make. It is measured by how wisely you manage it, how carefully you protect it, and how effectively you pass its lessons to the next generation. Money can create opportunities, but it cannot replace wisdom. It cannot replace discipline. It cannot replace character. Those qualities must be developed through experience, intentional effort, and consistent practice. The people who build lasting wealth understand that financial success is not simply a reward. It is a responsibility. A responsibility to think carefully, act wisely, remain disciplined, and prepare those who come after them to do the same. Because in the end, money can be inherited, property can be inherited, and businesses can be inherited. But wisdom cannot. Wisdom must be learned. Wisdom must be practiced. And wisdom must be passed on intentionally. That is why the true measure of wealth is not what you accumulate during your lifetime, but what continues to grow because of the principles you leave behind.